Welcome to Booked and Brewed Book Club, the podcast where we enjoy our favorite brews and talk about our favorite books. I'm Alex.
And I'm Melina, and we're so glad you want to talk about books too. Thank you everyone for being here. We're so happy to have you here. And today's episode, we're talking about Beach Read by Emily Henry.
We're so excited about this. We're kind of pivoting from our typical thriller slash like fantasy vibes. We figured it's the last month of summer, so why not end it with some like rom-com vibes? So before we begin though, what's your book that you're reading right now, Melina, and your current brew?
Okay, so the book I'm reading right now is currently The Twisted Throne, I think, and that's part of the Bridge Kingdom series. It's book 5, and The Housemaid is Watching.
Ooh,
And
so
then,
oh, go ahead.
yeah.
No, go ahead. I'll ask you when you're
Oh,
done.
I'm drinking a Liquid IV firecracker popsicle.
Ew,
So,
that sounds good.
yeah.
Um,
Yummy.
so Bridge Kingdom, that's the one. Is that the girl? She is like a traitor. Like she's there, her dad like basically takes her and her sisters and like hides them away. That's it,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
The first book's really good. And then what do you think of the fourth
The
right now?
the first book is really good. The second, third, and fourth were but
Uh,
I listened to them on audiobooks, so it was easier to get through them. I
Fair
think they were
enough.
like free on Audible, so it's like, okay, I might as well.
Right,
Um,
exactly. It's like basically saying read me, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like I started the series, so might as well continue it. I'm like 2 chapters into the fifth one, the one I'm reading, and it's eh. I've seen reviews that say it's a lot better than a couple of the other books, but
Yeah.
I'm reserving judgment. So, yeah, how about you? What are you reading and what are you drinking?
Okay, so reading right now, I've been binge reading Binding 13, that book series. I read the first book in like literally 36 hours,
Hmm.
maybe a little bit more, maybe like it was like in 2.5 days, maybe a little less than that. Read it so fast, so good. Same thing with the
Hmm.
second, same thing with the third. Um, Fourth one is so good as well. It's just so emotional. Like these books are
Yeah.
so heavily emotional. So I'm starting to hit like my bandwidth on it. So I'm kind of like
Mhm.
slowing down a little bit. But have you read like Saving Six and Redeeming Six? Okay, so I'm not even gonna like,
It's next on my list.
okay,
Um,
it's so
yeah.
good. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I like how the way the two books are set up because they're a little bit different. Like the first one is a little bit different than how she set up Finding 13.
Mm.
So I really like how it is. And then yeah, anyway. And then I'm listening to Every Summer After by Carly Fortune
Mm-hmm.
um, as my like Audible because I just started a new job. So I am driving around an hour there, an hour back. So I figured it's perfect time to pick up an Audible book and just
Hmm.
listen my little heart out while I'm stuck in traffic. So that's really good. I really like it. It's very like quick. It's like an easy thing to listen to. Like I don't have to put too much thought to it. So it's nice.
Yeah.
And it seems really cute. It's off to a really good start. So I'm excited to like kind of keep listening and see where it goes. What I'm currently drinking, I've had a long day at work. I'm tired. I'm drinking a glass of white wine to end my day. I don't usually do this, but like I said, I'm treating myself because it's my first week at work.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
yes, ma'am, I'm pretty hyped about it. So, that being said, let's get into the summary of Beach Read. So, Beach Read by Emily Henry. There are two main characters to it. So, January Andrews, a romance novelist struggling with writer's block after her father's death and discovering the lifelong affair um, that he had. Cynical about love despite building her career on happily ever afters. Gus Everett, a literary fiction author and January's former college rival, known for darker, more serious novels, divorced, cynical, and skeptical of happy endings. So obviously, they're two very different sides to it, but they're both authors. So January's father passes away, and she learns he had a secret lake house and a long-term mistress. To process the grief and avoid her mother's pity, January moves into the Michigan beach house to clean it out. She's broke, has a deadline looming, and is stuck with writer's block. She discovers her next door neighbor is none other than Gus Everett, her former college nemesis. Dun, dun, dun. After a snarky reunion, they strike up a deal to swap genres to shake up their writer's block. January will attempt to write literary fiction, which is what Gus writes, and Gus will attempt to write a romance with a happy ending, which is what January writes. So they kind of are swapping the genres that they're writing. And they also are going to spend time teaching each other about their processes. So Gus is going to take January on research trips, so interviews with cult survivors, bleak explorations. Introduces Gus to romance tropes, so rom-com movie marathons, typical cute meet cute setups, and stuff like that. Their banter shifts into something more vulnerable as they start to spend time together. They share late night writing sessions, increasingly personal conversations, and moments of genuine care. January opens up about her grief and anger at her father and loss of faith and love. Gus reveals his painful past, an abusive father, a messy divorce, and deep loneliness. Slowly, their rivalry transforms into friendship and then romance. They grow closer on research trips like the carnival and interviews, and January struggles with her conflicting emotions about her father's infidelity and what that means for her beliefs about love. Gus pushes her to face hard truths while she challenges his pessimism. Their mutual attraction builds until they finally give in and sleep together. January worries that Gus doesn't really believe in lasting love and that she's just another fling for him. She's also struggling with the pressure of her writing deadline and unresolved feelings about her father's betrayal. Gus seems emotionally unavailable at times, reinforcing her fears. Both are terrified of fully trusting someone when their own foundations of love feel broken. So, to kind of also preface this, Gus, his divorce, he found out that his wife was cheating on him. So that's kind of where his broken foundation of love also comes from. So January finishes her book, which was a literary fiction book, processing her grief and her father's complicated legacy through her writing. Gus makes progress on his romance manuscript, reluctantly but earnestly trying to embrace hope and love. After a fight and temporary distance, Gus admits he wants January and is willing to try for a future together, even if he doesn't have all the answers. Realizes love isn't about perfect, happy endings, but choosing to believe and hope despite uncertainty. They commit to each other, blending their cynicism and optimism into something real. So cute. It was a great book. I really enjoyed it. So, Melina, give me your ratings for this book.
I rated it 3 stars. Um, I thought it was fine, but rom-coms just are not really my thing. I thought it started out really slow.
Fair.
Just in general, I thought it was really slow. Um, yeah, the chapters were really long, and I don't know if that's typical of most rom-com books, but I have trouble with hard chapters, especially when there's like not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a lot of trouble reading it, but I got it done. I read it in like 3 weeks, so that's decent-ish. Um, yeah, it was an okay book, but I probably wouldn't read it again.
That's fair. That is fair. So I'm going to come out of left field on this one and say I gave it 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a sucker for rom-com movies. Um, and this book just like I thought it was just like the perfect like for me, I was in between really big series. So this was like the perfect like break. That was like for me, it felt quick, easy, like very lighthearted. I loved their banter so freaking much. I thought it was like so perfect. And it was just funny. Like it made me giggle a lot. So that's why I gave it 5 stars.
Okay.
It is.
Okay then. Favorite part? I mean, I don't typically have a favorite part of most books. This one, I don't know. It's I just wasn't super excited with it. So I don't have a favorite part, least favorite part, a
Yeah,
favorite character. I thought they were all, well, like the two main ones, they were just kind of annoying.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Um,
Not a fan of this book, is what I'm hearing.
it was okay. I mean, I enjoyed reading it, but like I said, I'm not really a rom-com person. Um, sorry, a rom-com book person. I love rom-com movies, but books are just like I don't know. I can't focus on them. And
That's
I've learned that with the past three that I read. So I probably will not be reading very many more of those. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't understand the hype personally because I know it's a popular book, but I thought it was eh.
that's fair. I think it's all just like preference, like on
Mhm.
whether it's your vibe or not. I mean, it took you you were a trooper to keep powering through like a couple more romance novels to or like
Yeah.
rom-com novels to really see if you enjoyed it or not.
hmm
And now you know, like it's not really your thing. I think going from romantasy to this,
hmm
so different.
Oh, so here's the difference. Here's what I did realize. I can't sit down and read a rom-com, but listening to it on Audible different story, absolutely love it. Has a completely different vibe to me, and
Really?
I can actually enjoy it. But when I have to sit down and read it, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I can't.
Huh.
I don't look forward to it. So I'll have to do all my rom-coms on audiobook if I continue to listen to rom-coms. So
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. I'm starting to notice that with like reading the Carly Fortune book on my drives, and it's more entertaining. Like maybe it's
Mhm.
the voice inflections and things like that, but the way
Yeah.
it's being read is really good. Um,
Yeah, I listened to that one too and very much enjoyed it. Was it a great book? No, but
that's
I
that's a
enjoyed it.
popular
So
book. That's like that gets really high ratings. That's funny.
I
Um,
just thought the plot was but we can talk about that a different day.
yeah, definitely. I will say that like my favorite part for this book, I don't think I have a least favorite part because I think any part to it really adds to the story. It's not like where we felt with like Fourth Wing, where I was like, "Ugh, do we really need to bring back Jack Barlow? You know, like
Yeah.
that was unnecessary. But um, I would say like for this book, my favorite part, I just really enjoyed like the banter between the two of them. And for me,
Mhm.
I thought it was funny that his aunt invited her over their house for a book club and they were literally reading spy novels and drinking white Russians. And I think he like walked in at one point and she was just like so like didn't know how to handle that situation. I thought that was really funny. I was like giggling at that scenario. And she like at one point refused to get in the car with him. He was gonna drive her home and she absolutely refused it. So just like again, kind of adding to that banter that the two of them have. I thought that was really cute.
What I didn't understand, and I don't know, maybe this is I don't know. But what annoyed me about like that part and some of the other ones were the whole like, no, I'm not getting in the car because we had this college thing 5 years ago or more than that, and I still remember you and whatever, and you were an ass and like that was literally 5 years ago. People can change, or like I don't remember how long it was, but it was a long time ago. So
Yeah,
why are you holding it against him still? Like he's literally offering to give you a ride home. What's the big deal?
yeah.
It's not like he's asking to sleep with you.
Well, I think she was also like he was also mean to her when she like first moved in too.
Hmm.
Because there's the scene where he has the party
Right.
and she
Yeah.
asked him to turn down the music and he's kind of just getting snippy with her. Um, but the reason he was getting snippy with her was because it was on his birthday, I think the year before. that his wife left. Like he found out about the
Yeah.
affair.
And honestly, like I understand that maybe she's just like annoyed at that and like, oh, this guy doesn't really he's kind of an ass because it was a first impression, but at the same time, like you never know what people are going through. And maybe I'm just different for thinking that. But I'm always like, you never know what someone's going through if they're an ass for this reason. You don't know if that's their normal personality. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like if they're offering to give you a ride home. I mean, doesn't that kind of show you that maybe they're not?
Yeah, that's so true. I think like I do think the fact that she was working through a lot of her own trauma too at the same time. So I think for her to process the fact her dad died and he had the affair and she was given the house and it was her job to pack it up and then get it ready for selling. Plus, she finds out that he ends up being neighbors with this guy who she had a really bad relationship with, whatever it may be, back in college.
Mhm.
I think, and she also was drinking a little bit too. So I think her emotions were probably just all over the place. And that's probably why she was just hell bent on not getting in the car with him.
Mm. Yeah.
But she did eventually. And then that's how the whole writing swap came about.
Yeah.
But I thought, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it was a cute book. I really enjoyed it. And I do like her as an author. I really loved this book. So I'm interested to see if we talk about another book of hers and how it'll compare between the two.
Yeah.
So, book club questions. So we first meet January when she's arrived at her dad's beach house. She seems pretty broken up. She's lost her dad. She's suffering from writer's block. What was your first impression of her? I'm curious to know yours, Melina.
Okay, my first impression was the name January is an ick. It took me a while to get over that and be like, why is she named January? That's so weird. Um, so that still bothers me. I hate the name. Uh, but I was first impression, she was kind of I was like, oh, this is weird.
Mm,
Like it looked like she had issues.
okay,
Um, and I'm comparing this to like, fantasy romantasy books, but they're going through so much more in those books, and I'm like, dear, is it really that big of a deal?
right.
So that may have been part of the problem, but I was like, geez, girl, you're overreacting. Like, I don't see what the big deal is. But, as I say that, I know I have never been through anything like that before. So please don't like hate me for that. That was just my thought. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, if I think about it, I'm like, oh, maybe she was just like, maybe I'd understand if I had been through it. But
yeah,
just based on that, I was like, man, she's just really overreacting. Like
yeah.
it's like she needs to just chill. Maybe go to therapy. I don't know.
That's so, I mean, she doesn't have money for therapy because she's
Oh,
broke.
that's true. That's true.
Um, yeah, but I'm with like she just seems sad and I'm
Mhm.
kind of broken and lost. I think she seemed really lost. That was my first impression of her, that she didn't know how to process her emotions with the whole situation. She was
Mhm.
drinking a lot as well. She just seemed messy, kind of broken, kind of lost. Um, and it's based on her reflecting back to her past and everything like that. She seemed like she lost her spark. And I know that's not like a first impression statement, but I think as you continue to read more on it, your impression of January, at least in my opinion, changes a little bit.
Mhm.
And it did seem like she genuinely lost who she was throughout this whole process because I think she related her vision of what love was around her parents. And in her mind, she didn't see an issue with her parents' marriage.
Yeah.
Um, so I think for her, that's where her foundation really broke of what love was.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds uh valid.
Yeah, I like to think so. Um, but who knows?
Yeah.
So she talks about not having much money. So why do you think she decided to live in the house before selling it?
I think it was a free place for her to live, and she didn't want to live with her mom. I don't exactly understand the issues that they had. Um, but I know that they were a big deal to her, so she didn't want to be around her mom. So I think it was just a free place to stay, a way to get out of wherever it was she was living and maybe get a new perspective to help with the writer's block.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with you. I think the reason she moved in before selling it, yeah, she was supposed to like clean it up and everything, and I know she needed the money, but I think it was a piece of her dad that she didn't want to lose. Like she,
Mhm.
it was her way of holding on to something. I think from, and granted, she didn't know her dad had this house, and this was also kind of part of the whole affair thing. But I think because it was so closely related to her dad, that she needed to move in to process it more and be able to kind of work through. I mean, she probably didn't know it at the time, but it was to work through, you know, everything she was feeling with her dad and find closure. I think that's genuinely why she moved in, was to try and find closure on the situation and like figure out how to accept everything that happened, or maybe she was just looking for an answer to things. Um, and I think because she obviously could have made so much money and gotten herself a place to live had she just immediately sold it as is, but she decided not to.
Mhm. Um, okay, so it turns out her next door neighbor is none other than her college rival, Gus Everett, and she's horrified and also annoyed. What did you think about their banter and initial dynamics, and could you tell then that they had feelings for each other?
I would say, yeah.
Me
I
too. I thought it was obvious.
so it's that rom-com obvious.
Hmm.
You know, where it's the rom-com, oh, I don't like you, but like deep down I do. That like
It's
push
it's
and
the
pull.
whole convenience and this guy that was a college rival came back and there wasn't no reason for that.
You were so, it's funny because like you're going into this with like so much plot driven like analysis, like what we've done in other books.
I look at the books I look at the books through the eye of thriller and fantasy, and
For
that's
me,
not what they're meant to be looked at
you're
for
like psychoanalyze
rom-com.
rom-coms, exactly. It's kind of face value. You can't psychoanalyze it like we've done in the other
Yeah.
books and like really dissect it because again, it is like face value. It is kind of easy to read. Um,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of the answers to these questions that we're going through, like these book club questions, um, I do think that they are basically touching on things we already know the answers to. We don't
Yeah.
have to put too much thought into it. We don't have to deep dive
Mhm.
into it. But I do think it
Yeah.
is important to discuss it because I think you and I do have differing opinions on some aspects of the
Oh
books.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But yeah, I would say I definitely thought they had feelings for each other. I
Mhm.
think at first I didn't recognize it, but maybe after seeing how they interact with each other, I think I noticed that they did start to have feelings and they kind of wanted this thing to happen between them before it actually did. So it's like when you're in like middle school and there's a boy that likes you and he's mean to you because he likes you. That's
Yeah.
what I thought this was. That's what it reminded me of.
Honestly, as soon as he insisted on driving her from the book club, I was like, obviously he has feelings. I didn't so much catch it that she had feelings also until she was like obsessed with him and like their past and psychoanalyzing it. And I was like, you do not do this to a random person. Like you obviously have feelings.
Yeah.
Um, so I could tell that he was into her
Yeah.
pretty early on, and she couldn't or was in denial. I don't know, because she had also gotten out of this long-term relationship, right?
Yes, that's
It's like
true.
7 years or something.
Something like that. Yeah. It was a long.
So she was also dealing with that, um, and maybe not ready to start dating again.
Yeah, that's true. I can agree with that. I th- it's kind of like that. It is that emotional processing
Hmm.
time that they needed for both of them because he was also getting out of a long-term relationship
Yeah,
with his ex-wife. That ended badly, obviously.
yeah. I got the impression from reading the book, though, that he never really cared for his ex-wife. He was kind of indifferent to her.
I agree, but I also think the book was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the book was 100% from her point of view too.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think it would have been hard to kind of look into his head and understand how he was feeling. Um,
yeah,
because maybe he did and he didn't show it because he now had this girl who might have been his long lost love come back into his life. And we're only seeing that side of it.
it was just how he was talking about her, like to January, what
Mhm.
he was saying. I believe he said something along the lines of saying that like he never cared for his wife the same way he cared for January, because that's who he always wanted. Um, I don't remember what it was, but I feel like I read something like that, and I was like, well, then why did you marry her if you didn't care so much about her?
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah, that was just the vibe I got. I think I also read it more recently than you did.
That's true. You did.
Yeah. Um, so I thought it was just interesting. Um,
Valid. I think that's valid.
mhm.
What did you think about the slow burn romance between the two of them?
I don't think it was that slow burn.
Yeah. I compared to one of Emily Henry's other books, I don't think it was slow burn at all.
Honestly, I'm pretty critical of slow burn because a lot of authors say, "Oh, this is slow burn," or like readers say this is slow burn, and it's not at all. When I'm talking slow burn, I'm talking like Binding 13 slow burn, which if you've read it, you know,
Yes. Oh,
it's
yes.
it's like 600 pages of yearning, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not that they know they have feelings for each other and they're just like bouncing around it, but they're still flirting. I'm talking like,
I know. That's like Guild. Guild is a slow
yeah.
burn.
I can tell so far. Um,
Yeah, that's a painful burn, but it's slow.
yeah. Um, yeah, so anyways, I didn't think it was that slow burn. I
Fair.
thought it was more less enemies to lovers and more friends to lovers.
That's fair. I can see that. I think it wasn't an aggressive enemy thing.
Yeah. But Again, I feel like a lot of people say something's enemies to lovers when it's really not.
Yeah.
Like true enemies to lovers is done so infrequently and it's not usually done very well, in my opinion. Um, and he never hated her. He
Mm.
always thought that they were like friends, they were cool. Um, so yeah, I don't think it was really an enemies to lovers. I'm not sure if that was the trope it was supposed to be.
I think it follows along a similar like that trope. If it's not, it's pretty sim. I mean, I can see why it would be called enemies to lovers, why people would
Mhm.
refer to it as that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
agree.
what do you think of the forced proximity? They
Oh,
were close, they were neighbors.
oh, that was fine.
What do you usually think of forced proximity, though?
I think they're bound to fall in love. Like
True.
if it's in forced proximity, like it's bound that they're gonna end up falling in love with each other. It's kind of
Yeah.
inevitable, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think it's always just the way the story is set up. Obviously, in real life, that's not the case, but or it
Hmm.
may not be the case. It can be. But I do think that in any rom-com novel, when it's forced close proximity, they're bound to have some sort of, intimate relationship with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Last question.
while feeling such anger and disappointment with her father's decision, to her. She finally reads the notes to her towards the end and forgives him. So, what did you think about that?
I just think it was stupid that she waited that long to read the note.
Yeah, me too.
That bothered me, and I feel like I've either seen that in like a movie or a TV show or read that in another book.
Hmm.
It drives me up a wall. And I understand why they do it because they can't emotionally deal with the situation, but I do think it's frustrating.
Hmm.
But it's a plot. It's like it's um it's important to the plot because had she read the note at the beginning, she would have accepted the whole thing way earlier than she actually did. She wouldn't have done the whole thing with Gus. Like I think the book wouldn't really be the book.
Yeah.
So I think it had to play out that way. I just really wish that she read it in the beginning.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. My my take on that is if she's trying to heal, she doesn't have all the material she needs if these letters are available.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know.
But maybe
Yeah,
she wasn't
that's
trying to heal, you know?
maybe. I don't really know. I mean, we're kind of like analyzing this and it's meant to be taken at face value. Um, so I'm not sure what else there is to
Yeah.
say about this one.
Yeah. That's fair. I agree. But that being said, guys, I know this was a really short podcast. It's a short book. Like we said, we didn't have to go too depth into super analyzing all the nitty-gritty details that you would get in, a fantasy book or sometimes a thriller and things like that. That being said, I enjoyed reading this book. I thought it was good, hence the 5-star rating. I know, Melina, you feel a little bit differently, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Um, that's why we like bringing, different types of books to this podcast to kind of let everyone have something they can enjoy. And also, we are able to dissect our own opinions and go
Yeah.
back and forth and really push each other to think outside of our own thoughts on the
Hmm.
book. So, that being said, if you guys have any book recommendations, please, 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 like, feel free to leave us a comment, DM us on TikTok, Instagram, any of those. We're happy to take any suggestions for upcoming books. I know fall's coming, so it's going to be spooky season five, more fantasy, probably some thrillers in there. Maybe to Melina's detriment, a cute Halloween rom-com or something, but definitely under those spooky vibes we have coming up for sure.
Make sure if you like this episode to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, send us any recommendations you have. But anyways, thanks for brewing with us.
Yeah, see you next time, book besties.